Ready to go?
Ready to go?
Yeah, because I gotta drive.
I know.
Let's go.
You coming?
Yeah.
What's that?
We're going to dinner. You coming?
Whoa, no, guys.
It's like a roller coaster. Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Mach-E vlog. We're in this 2012 Nissan Leaf loaned to us by Kyle from Out of Spec. And what are we doing today?
We're gonna go get it fixed. Woo.
By the time you arrive.
That's where we're going.
That's where we're going. We just got some direction updates.
So let's go. Just in case you don't know, Kyle did this massive schlep and dragged this Leaf all the way from Colorado, towed it with the Rivian, and he has a whole video series on that. We have a video on receiving this Leaf. It is a long-term loan. He has dropped it off here for us to use because I don't have a vehicle. The only big deal is that the onboard charger is damaged. It's broken, and Kyle was gonna have it fixed, which is what we are going to do right now. I'm so excited.
We're gonna take it over there. He is gonna meet us there. He's gonna do a whole video about getting it repaired. So make sure you watch that video. We'll put links to that. But then after it's done, we should have a Leaf that we can charge here at home. We can use CHAdeMO to fast charge it. We just can't charge it here at home, but we gotta get over there.
Yeah, we're gonna get going, but we'll update you guys on the way. So how long have we had this Leaf?
It's been a couple of months.
It's been a couple of months, but we have driven it twice and we've charged it once, right?
Yeah, we've been very conservative with it. The one time we did take it to charge, it was later in the evening. The nearest charger is about 6 miles away, but we use like 15 miles of range to get there and back. And it's CHAdeMO, so that means if something's wrong with that charger, then we have to go find another charger that's like another 6 miles away. Or if it's being used, we have to wait or go find another charger. Sorry for the directions talking to us.
So basically we just kept an eye on the charger, and we went one evening at like one night, 9 o'clock at night or so, and we went and charged. It was actually really nice, and we were very fortunate that no one was at the charger, but if they had been, we would have had to wait. Now this is an old vehicle. It's a 2012. It's funny I say old because my previous car was way older, but we only have 32 miles of range, and the the repair shop, I guess, is 11 miles away. We don't want to get it there completely depleted, so it's not like we're blasting the AC or anything.
I just turned it on.
Yeah, it's about 85 degrees right now. And
I'm going to watch the range, because that's the other thing is like the range meter isn't super accurate that we've noticed. It's really neat, like you turn it on sometimes, you know, and it's like it has 34 miles of range, and then we go around the block and I'm like, okay, we have 38 miles of range. How did that work?
Yeah, but then also it was like 24.
Yeah, and then there was, like, we pulled out of the charger, and I think it had like 54 miles of range, and then within a mile it was like 46 miles of range.
Yeah, so by the time we got it home from the charger that one time, we had 38 miles of range, and it took so long to charge it. We've just been so busy that we've been too scared to drive it very far, knowing that we'd have to go then spend 2 hours charging or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is exciting.
It's interesting because I was thinking, just because it has a little bit of range, it's well within our local errands needs would be, and I thought it'd be fine. But not being able to charge at home is the big kicker.
Yeah.
Like if we drove it down and we're like, oh, we only have 5 miles of range left when we get home, you know, we'd be like, oh, that's plenty of a buffer. Or if we're running low, we just like, oh, we got to go home and charge. But having to rely on a CHAdeMO charger at the somewhat unreliable Electrify America stations, or simply the fact that it could be in use, really made it so like we didn't want to use it much. So we're excited to see what Kyle's going to do with this.
I'm on San Luis Rey Mission Expressway for half a mile.
I know QC Charge is like experts in getting this stuff done. I don't even know what else they may be doing. I think they may be doing some other stuff. You'll have to watch that video to find out. But we're super appreciative that Kyle dropped this off.
In a quarter mile, Turn right onto North San Jose.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we've now had the opportunity to experience severe charging anxiety, which some of you guys maybe have, or maybe you want to get an EV, but you have charging anxiety because you don't have charging at home. Of course, in this situation, the fact that this is limited to like max around 50 miles and can only charge at a CHAdeMO, we're very limited. But in your situation, you may feel as limited as that, I'm sure, right? Because some of the chargers are extremely busy, depending on where you are in the city, or some of them are very sparse. And I'm making sure that Patrick hears what it is.
Yeah, no, I know pretty much what I got to do. It's fairly simple for the most part. The one thing that does worry me is like normally leaving our house, then we get into some hilly areas, and even in the Mach-E, like the efficiency drops to like 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So I'm like, I'm hoping we're not,
we're gonna coast in there.
Yeah, but we'll probably get there with like 19 miles of range, and that it's fairly spot on. But
these are the pros. I'm sure they'll be able to deal with it. Hopefully,
we're just excited. It drives really nice for an older car. We drove it around the neighborhood and went and ran a couple errands, and Liv drove it. It drives very well for both of us. It's not a car that you're going to get in and take on long road trips necessarily.
No.
It's comfortable for around town.
It's absolutely perfect. If you were looking for a used EV, you don't have that much cash to burn, or you just want something that's suitable for short couple mile errands or your daily commute, whatever it is, it's absolutely perfect. It's exactly suited for what we need it for. I personally don't mind a pre-loved car, and by pre-loved I mean there's a big old love tap on the back. It's got a big dent in it.
And we should mention.
So we officially took this, I think, where did I drive it to? Target or something? Mm-hmm. And we went to charge. And then other than that, this was sitting in the driveway, except when it was sitting in the street, in our neighborhood street, when we had the Lexus. And if you're curious about that, we had the Lexus RZ 450e for a week. So this Leaf was parked in the street and it got love tapped again by a neighbor. So the most action this Leaf has seen has not been by us in the past couple months.
I feel really bad. Our neighbor, they were doing some like construction in front of his house. So it was like he was trying to back out quickly. He said he was running late and he backed out, and normally there's no car there, but we had parked it on the street. I think
normally someone else's car is there. Yeah. Like our street's very cramped because it's California. Everyone parks in the street instead of the driveway. So normally there's a car there, but it's not our car. He totally admitted that it was an accident, but honestly, it wasn't too bad. And Kyle is awesome. We immediately let Kyle know, and he was like, what do you think?
So our neighbor said, let me know what you want to do. If you want to do insurance, or if you just want me to pay out of pocket, it doesn't look bad. Just tell me what you want to do. We'll handle it however you want. And I said, well, it's not actually our car, so I can't make that decision. And in my mind, I'm like, it really doesn't look bad at all, especially when it has the huge dent in the rear. But it's not my call, And I think that like literally I could take like a suction cup and like, it's not even really dented. It's just like the fender's bent in a little bit. So I think we could literally just like pull it out a bit and it would look completely normal, but it didn't even like really scratch the paint or anything. It just.
And we're certainly down to try fix it, which is what we were interested in trying with the bigger dent anyways. So when the neighbor knocked on the door and he was like, I hit your car, I think both of us were like, the Mach-E? Like, I didn't even think about like our car, because it's not our car, the Leaf. We are taking care of it.
Even though the Mach-E was in the garage.
Yeah, but still you're like,
And my worry was, because it's on the left front, I was worried that it might have cracked the headlight, but the headlight is fine. Because the headlights are very bulbous. And I didn't want that to be damaged, because that would definitely need to be replaced. But we'll see what we end up doing with it. I don't know how long they're going to take to get this repair done. Maybe they're going to do it tonight. Maybe they're going to do it over a few days. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Kyle does with this. Kyle makes a lot of videos and talks about a lot of stuff, but sometimes we don't get quite the heads up about what's going to happen. We didn't know he was. We knew he was coming eventually to pick up the Leaf to get this done. We didn't find out until this past weekend when we were at Tesla Takeover. He goes, "Hey, I'll be there on Tuesday," and we're like, "Oh, where? Our house?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to pick up the Leaf. We're going to go get it fixed." I was like, "Okay, cool." So,
which is like, once you know that about Kyle, you totally just get it. He's doing like 500 things at the same time, and he tries to cram in a bunch of things. So I think he's probably driven like 6 cars since we saw him, which was like 2 days ago. 6,
exactly.
Probably 10. I don't know. Yeah.
But what we're excited is, we'll be able to do some more videos, not just on the Mach-E, but doing little adventures in the Leaf, showing you how it is to have a 12-year-old car.
I have to be honest.
That's an EV.
I'm excited to make the content, Noel, and I'm really excited to hear what you guys want to see. But I'm excited to have this car, and to not worry about it and to be able to just plug in at home. I'm really excited to get to the point that we can live with it, because there are a whole ton of things that I want to do. There's errands I want to run. I want to go to the gym and things like that on a whim. And now I'll have a car.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Part of this is we don't like taking the Mach-E to some places. It's better here than in Colorado. First of all, Colorado roads can be really rough. A lot of the cool places are like in the industrial area of Denver. Parking's not great. There's a lot of very tight street parking. But even here, it can be like going downtown to like the Thursday night market. It's like we don't mind going down there, but you got to park in like this tight parking garage, or get lucky enough to find street parking. Either way, I don't want to be like one of those people that's always fussing over the car, but with the Mach-E, we fuss over it quite a bit. It'd be nice to just be able to like park and go like, it's fine,
Well, and obviously it's not like you won't care about this vehicle, but I'm personally very well suited to driving a car that's not perfect.
and the other thing is, as crazy as it sounds even to us, like we make videos with the Mach-E, and that's sort of not our bread and butter, but our, cherry on top of our day jobs. It helps us to make content, and we love making the content, but we can't make like road trip vlogs and do Mach-E videos if the Mach-E's in the shop. So we don't want it to get damaged or something. And you know how it goes is like, it doesn't take much, and then it's in the shop for
knock on wood,
a few weeks or whatever.
And unfortunately, we had that experience. If you don't know, our first Mach-E, our first edition, got rear-ended a month after we got it. And, in all honesty, part of the willingness to get the Mach-E was that we were making content, and we were like, we'll try help pay for it by making the content. But then we were paying for the car, and we were not able to make content. Not like it was much, but suddenly this cycle had just reached a screeching halt. So it was quite scary. It's a weird situation to be in. This is all weird, but now it's so exciting because we have an alternative. And how do you feel, actually, now that I think about it? We're like sitting in it right now.
It's a nice drive.
Tinted windows. Tinted windows.
Tinted windows would be nice.
Yeah, it's so funny because, yes, the seats are different, not as comfortable and all that, but tinted windows make such a big difference, especially when it's 80-something degrees. And we're at 24 miles of range.
And we're 5.9 miles away, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So we're doing fine. It's cruising right along. This is, I put it in eco mode. So there's like a regular mode. When I had it in regular mode, we had 31 miles of range when we left the house. And then I put it in eco mode, and it jumped up to 34 miles of range, which doesn't sound like much, but really that's like about a 10% increase. Mm-hmm. And this, goes back to something I've said multiple times. All EVs are pretty nice driving around town because they have that instant torque. I know this isn't a speed demon, but I'm like, I have it in eco mode, and it's a Leaf that's 10 years old. It's not super powerful, but it's fine for chilling, cruising around town. I'm enjoying the drive. We do have the AC on. I don't even know. It's so old school. I don't know like what temperature it's set at. I think it's just like if you're hot, hit the blue button. If you're cold, hit the red button.
Yeah, that's a good point. It just says error.
It doesn't
We're like used to overly techie stuff. Okay, so things that we should talk about. We're about to drop this off at CHAdeMO. CHAdeMO. We actually got to meet them this weekend at Tesla Takeover, which is this huge gathering of Tesla owners in San Luis Obispo. Luis. It sounded weird when I said it. San Luis. Oh my gosh. Sorry. But it was a huge gathering of Tesla owners, and there were a bunch of brands and companies and things, and CHAdeMO was there. Which was super cool to meet them. And they were the ones who were like, hey, since we're taking a leaf, we figured we should come say hi. And we were like, what? Hi? Which is totally cool. So I'm really excited to meet them, to see what they do. It's so cool that there are companies that do this stuff. There's also Transport Evolved shared that they're an amazing YouTube channel. They shared that there was this creator that works on Leaf stuff and making it all open source and stuff that you can do in the back end. I don't even know the half of it, but there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with the Leaf that is way over my head. But the one thing that we can do is decorate it. So what should we do to the Leaf? Kyle is cool with whatever, which makes me kind of like want to make it extra sparkly or obnoxious, but then also we could just make it really cool. What could we do?
As long as I can drive it, I'm good.
If you have ideas or thoughts or wishes that you'd like to see happen to this Leaf, you should let us know.
And after doing our last Leaf video, we do want to reach out and have anybody reach out to us that is a Leaf owner, Leaf enthusiast. We were sort of surprised by how many Leaf enthusiasts there were that commented, found the one video. So by all means, like this is we really don't know much about the Leaf other than I've ridden in a few and think they're great values. So anyways, let us know like things we should do. I know there's like a Leaf app that we can install and then use the OBD2 port to collect a bunch of data. Any other modifications, anything like that, won't mess with Kyle's car without checking with him first. But
except for the glitter. But
let us know what we should do. Any tips, any advice.
And what are your favorite things about your Leaf? What don't you like about it?
And
yeah.
I want to know about your long road trips.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. So please reach out, drop a note in a comment, or you can email us at we'll just say patrick@evexplored.com. And or live at EV, or both of us.
Or just Patrick, because you're pretty good at responding.
Yeah, I'll try to respond and keep up. And we just want to hear your experiences and any advice that you have that could be useful for a 12-year-old Leaf.
Or just comment.
Is it
12 years old?
10 years.
10
11.
years old.
There's
and
a
what should we
Mach-E
call
up ahead of
it?
us.
He already waved at a Mach-E as we were leaving our neighborhood, and then he's like, "Oh, we're in the Leaf." So it just seemed like really enthusiastic, which I think was sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been like EV to EV,
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I think we should wrap up because we have 4.4 miles. We're at 21 miles. Oop.
Okay.
You guys fell off the windshield, so.
We fell off the windshield. That's actually happened in a live stream before. Do you remember?
Yep.
Sorry.
Except that was the phone. GoPro could handle those falls.
Yeah, you would think, but we'll have to get used to sticking GoPros and stuff up in the Leaf. We have arrived. We're at CHAdeMO. What is it? We left at 34 miles of range.
And we finished with 14, but it was 11 miles to get here. So
it's
that's why we were like, it's a little dodgy trying to guess what the range meter. But we wanted to, show you the car before Kyle gets here. We're waiting for Kyle. He said he'll be here in about 20 minutes or 10 minutes.
He's been taking his time coming down from Tesla Takeover, which was about 5.5 hours away. He's taken a couple days, I think, right?
Yeah.
So let's look over here. That is the new Love Tap.
So you can see it's like just pushed in right there. That's where it got dinged a little bit. Not much compared to, of course, the back one. And Kyle bought it like this. And that's going to be not permanent. We're going to see if we can pull that out, or I think QC Charge may look and see if they can do something to it.
And you can tell we haven't been driving it much
It's like-
because of how covered in spider webs it is.
Yeah. So that's it. We're just going to wait for Kyle, see when he pulls in.
Yeah. Hi. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, how are you doing?
This is the shop. Like we met you guys this weekend at Tesla Takeover. We talked a lot about motor rebuilds and batteries, and batteries and that kind of thing. Majority of our business right now is RAV4 EV. And I guess right now on the shop floor, we've got a lot of Tesla large drive units from Model S's.
Nice.
That we're building. That's actually what I'm working on right here. This is from one today. They have a big issue with coolant intrusion. You can see coolant got in the inverter, and it's missing a pin on the back of that connector. There's some arcing and kind of unhappy. You can see this is what happens when coolant gets inside of the motor. You get we call it the green death, or coolant gets in there, and the inverter motherboards, there's a harness that sits right here, and it'll wick all the coolant up onto the electronics, and the process. Things go downhill from there, so to speak. So starting, I guess, at this wall and moving over, these are RAV4 EV batteries from donor vehicles that we keep and sell. There's also some Nissan Leaf batteries. Those are from vehicles we've done battery swaps from. That's kind of the biggest part of our kind of exciting part of our future business, and I believe we have a new aftermarket Nissan Leaf batteries sitting at the Port of Los Angeles right now.
Wow, that's cool.
That customers are calling like every day about. So we've got about 300 people on a wait list for Nissan Leaf batteries. So yeah, it's really exciting.
So this is for a test bench?
Yeah, this is for our test bench. We'll test large drive units on the bench. Eddie Revolt put it together for us, our tester.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, this is a RAV4 EV battery we opened up and use. That's a Nissan Leaf motor and inverter and charger, I think, over there too. That was from a donor Leaf we bought for a battery, and then took the battery out, installed it in a customer car, and we kept that. We've got a 40, is it a 49 Studebaker?
Well, that stuff's supposed to be for the Jeep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Where is the Jeep? Is it in the parking lot? Or?
It's at Tony's house.
Okay.
You got so many cars.
Yeah, we've been shuffling. I've been in and out for the past month. I had to buy my boat, and it was a lot of work. It was kind of like buying a house. But in any case, we were going to do the Rubicon Trail, so that was going to be part of a Jeep project. The Jeep and the Studebaker were sitting in here taking up space. We had more than 30 cars on the lot up until recently, and there was 50. We're only allowed to have 15, so we book out for service about 3 to 4 months right now. So in any case, moving along, this is a gem car. We're going to turn this into all-wheel drive and make a battery box with Nissan Leaf modules, so Tony can tow his airplane. Those are inverters from large drive units. It's a performance inverter I've been working on today. That was one that has some coolant damage. If you want to take a look, what happens is when the coolant seal fails on these motors, when the motor's on its side, you can imagine this. We usually screw these in, but the motor sits like this, and at 6 o'clock, that harness right there, it'll wick coolant up, and you can see there's little green, green death crystals kind of starting to form on there. And the worst thing, just like that happened over there, is you'll get corrosion on these pins back here on the motherboard, and it just destroys it. So these are from RAV4 EVs. You can tell this is a Tesla performance inverter. You can tell because it has the Type R horsepower. 5 horsepower add red boards, red PCBs, and these are green. Anyway, these are from the RAV4 EVs. You can tell they're just about identical. I mean, all the connectors, if these boards were green, which the standard Model S are, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Anyway, and this is another. It's another RAV4 EV. The Mercedes B-Class also looks almost identical to it.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, that's another performance inverter. This is from another guy's building a Beetle. Yeah, you can see the green depth there. Coolant's kind of wicked up there, and it's on the back of the pins there. But yeah, that's the major. It keeps us in business, those coolant seals.
Wow.
Between damaged inverters to flooded stators, and that cause isolation issues where you have voltage where it doesn't belong, that kind of thing. 570A, that's the code name for the, it's 570 amps. It's for the RAV4 EV. So that's how you can kind of identify those. And this is the Tesla green paint. If you look on their motor, it's that green paint, green marker, and gasket maker are like the two big things that Tesla loves to just slop all over their motors, kind of in a fun way.
Interesting.
Anyway.
I feel like that should be called Tesla teal, to be honest.
Tesla teal.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So it matches your hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Tesla teal hair.
Anyway, these are just some different parts that we have for our rebuilds. These are motor mounts. The Tesla Large Drive Unit, they're identical. These are actually things we bought recently for a RAV4 EV, but they're the same as the Model rear drive Model S. Share the same parts. So at least this is like one of the only parts you can get from Tesla for these motors, other than just an entire drive unit when you do right amount of arm twisting and condensing. In any case, these are rotors. The coolant seal that we replace on these, sometimes it'll wear grooves, it'll be arcing and pitting in these, so we have a lathe over there and we can cut those and clean them up. Another issue these have too, before the RAV4 EV and even the Model S switched to these from steel ball bearings to ceramic, which when we do our motor rebuilds, we replace them with ceramic ball bearings. It's silicon nitride ceramic non-conductive ball. So you're breaking the inductive and electrical circuit. You get a lot of heating, and also magnetically, there's a magnetic or inductive circuit where you can get a lot of heating. Anyway, that cooks the grease out of this is the output shaft on the motor, cooks the grease out and wears these splines out. And you can see that's the red death, as we call it. It's kind of
Green death and red death.
That's steel and grease cooked on there from too much heating.
How often do you see something unique that you have to fix? Or is it always just consistent stuff?
Not too much unique. Actually, that failure on that input bus bar is the first time I've ever seen that. But most of it is pretty, well, I would say, I don't know, I'd be bad about estimates, but maybe I probably built maybe 100 motors, rebuilt 100 motors, and that's the first time I've seen that. So in terms of rarity, kind of special exceptions, maybe like one in every 100, one in every 50 motors, you might see something kind of extra special. So most of the time it's the bearings are worn, it's making a lot of noise, the splines are damaged, or the coolant seals failed, or some combination thereof. So
I'm surprised there's so many RAV4s because for me, it's like that's rare.
Only company, we're the only outfit in the world that I know that does comprehensively, like can rebuild motors and will open the batteries and that kind of thing. Like
Very cool.
A couple companies I know like Luscious Garage, which is now Earthing Automotive. They bought like contactors from us before, and I think a charger once to work on. But other than that, there's no other place out there actually does it. So
I'm so tickled for you guys to come here then.
Yeah. She had a 98 gas RAV4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I took the rear seats out, so it was pretty much just like 2 front seats and then flat. So it's almost like it was asking for a conversion. We should have. We should have. Yeah.
I just heard tires squeal.
Oh.
I think
this is a Tesla Large Drive Unit I'm working on today. It's from Performance, a P85 motor. That was actually that inverter that's hanging out over there. We're trying to decide. We found some crunch. There was some milling noise when I was talking to the guys, the owner today, and one of these diff bearings is kind of crunchy for some reason. It's pretty uncommon. Usually when we rebuild these, we only replace these bearings right here on the the primary drive gear here, just because they're on the highest mechanical and thermal load. So those get replaced when we rebuild, and then also one of these gaskets, and Alex can tell you more because I need to leave. Before we go, I guess one of the things is this is actually the vehicle that left this beautiful scar on my head.
Oh no!
This radiator support here is what fell and hit me.
No.
Yeah, so very lucky. But yeah,
Wow.
Anyway, it was because there was a bolt. I had to move one of our products for the RAV4 EV, which is our fast charging kit, the CHAdeMO, which is a CHAdeMO fast charging add-on because it only comes with level 2 charging. So
Yeah, so I'm Alex, and yeah, I'm one of the technicians that works here at QC Charge. I've kind of been here sort of since the beginning of when we really started to do the work on the cars. About 5 years now I've been here. So anyway, been doing work on cars all that time, along with doing some engineering work on some of our fast charging products and stuff.
Awesome.
My name is Eddie. I'm also an electric vehicle technician here alongside of Alex. I've been working in EVs for going on 2 years now. This was my start in electric vehicles as I kind of wanted to get into alternative energy and keep with my mechanical engineering background. So
Awesome. Thank you for the tour.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Alex was just showing us that this is the charger that's going to go in the Leaf.
Now, I thought because the car was only like $3,750 when he bought the whole car, that this would not be that much. But these are like $1,800, $2,000.
For a new one, yeah, they're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2,000.
Yeah.
They can be found used for significantly cheaper. This is a used unit that was pulled out of a basically a wrecked car.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a much more economical way to get it done. Usually, you can find a used working one for between $500 and $1,000. It's pretty typical.
Well, that's not bad, and considering you paid like $3,750 for the car, you still come out with a fairly good vehicle for under $5,000.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a couple different failure modes that these chargers actually suffer from. This charger is only used in the 2011 and 2012 Leaf.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of why they're sort of rare and hard to find.
Yeah.
And it's only these particular chargers that suffer from these failures. The 2013 and newer don't really tend to have problems with the chargers going out.
Oh.
But usually the failure in them is actually a diode on I can't remember if it's on the proximity or the pilot. But it's on one of those two sides for the J1772. And essentially what it does is it's acting as, diode just allows current to flow in one direction, won't let it flow the other way. And there's a couple different ways the diodes can fail. So it can fail in an open position, where you don't get current that's able to flow in either direction, so you have no signal. The other failure mode is if the diode fails in the shorted position, which allows current to flow both ways.
Yeah.
Most EVSEs check for the operation of the diode, and if the current's able to flow both ways, it throws an error and
It
they'll
won't
work.
connect.
The OEM 120 volt Nissan chargers don't do the diode check.
Oh, no.
And sometimes those will actually still work if the diode has failed in the shorted position.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Okay.
kind of a funky coincidence.
It's
The
good that
diode
you
doesn't.
use it.
Yeah, I mean the diode doesn't really. If it fails in the shorted position, it's not dangerous or anything. It's just not working as intended.
Okay.
But yeah, on EVSEs that don't do the diode check, it'll actually still work if it's suffered from that particular exact failure mode, which is, out of the percentage of the charger failures, I'd say it's maybe in the 30 or 40% range.
Very cool.
But if it fails like that, it can actually be fixed just externally with a diode right behind the charge port.
Yeah, when Kyle dropped off the Leaf, we did a video that hey, we have this Leaf and the onboard charger isn't working, and somebody started mentioning the diode in the comments, and like, here's how do you check, and here's how you here's videos you can watch on how to fix it. And we're like, nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
There's pros that are going to handle that for Kyle.
Yeah, that might be something to look into, to be find out what exactly the failure mode was.
I can't wait to hear what it was then.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how these go, and yeah, it's the charger is another weird thing about the 11 and 12 Leaf is the charger is actually in a different location than it is in the 13 and newer. So this lives in right behind the back seat. There's kind of that plastic hump right behind the back seat. That's where the charger lives.
Oh.
On a 2013 or newer, it would live under the hood.
Yeah, that's what I
stuff.
would assume. Like
Yeah.
like when you said it's in the back, that just doesn't make sense since your port is all the way up in the front.
It's pretty bizarre the way they did it how they did it that way, and who knows why Nissan decided to change it like that. But
Oh, that's it there? No way.
that's the
Okay.
charger, yeah.
Take a look at it.
It lives right behind the back seat.
So where did this one come from?
This one came out of it was kind of like a lightly wrecked car that a guy had bought to kind of harvest parts from to use for a conversion project. Like
Okay.
he pulled the batteries and stuff out. and he wasn't going to use the charger, and so that's how we got this one. But a lot of the time we'll get them from a salvage yard or something like that.
Okay, cool. That's sweet. And then this one will eventually fail, and we'll just have to do it again.
Yeah, it kind of depends. It seems like there's certain EVSEs that screw these things up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Should we charge them at not maximum current?
It's not so much a power problem. It's actually the diode on the. I can't remember if it's the proximity or the pilot side, but it's a diode that can blow out on it. And I don't know. I guess some EVs.
Is it hard to fix the diode?
It's a circuit. It's on the circuit board. So it would be kind of a circuit board level repair, which is a little bit tough to do on boards that are conformally coded and whatever. That's a little bit outside of our area of expertise. There's probably people that could do it.
There was people giving that advice. It's like, it's a diode. You can watch a video on how to do it. I'm like, no, that's okay.
Right, that's what I saw. I looked at the video. I'm like, I don't want to do any of this.
There's kind of two different ways that diode can fail. One is if it fails open, right? So if you have an open circuit, you don't get any power flowing at all. If it fails shorted, it basically negates it being a diode, right? A diode is meant to only allow current to flow in one direction.
Of course.
It won't let it flow the other way.
What would happen?
So if it fails shorted, then current can flow in either direction, which doesn't matter functionally for the charger, but it's not operating the way that it's intended.
Okay.
And if you're actually using the right EVSE, some EVSEs don't actually check to make sure the diode is working properly.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it'll even still work on the right EVSE.
Do you know
if the
what
diode's shorted.
EVSEs can mess it up?
The ones that'll mess it up, I've heard, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that a lot of blink chargers will
Well,
mess it up.
they're just terrible.
They're
anyways.
Yeah, a lot of the older.
But,
Seems like a lot of people had problems with the older blink chargers.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't know what else really seems to cause problems with them. But
I mean, and diode's just one of the things that can go wrong. Because talking to the owner of our Leaf before, because
Right,
the only
right.
reason he sold it was because the charger failed. He
Right,
drove
right.
it for like 3 years with this giant dent in the side of it or something like that.
yeah,
He had only exclusively charged it at home on one EVSE.
Yep.
And never plugged it into anything else.
interesting. So,
So
I wonder if
then
it was kind of a fatigue issue.
It just seemed like it was very rarely DC charged and just AC charged all the time. And so, yeah, I mean, that aside, this should solve our problem. And we can
Yeah.
always revisit it if it breaks again.
Right. Yep.
What else should we do to the car while it's here? I know it's here for this, but since it's here and you guys are Leaf experts, I mean, we'll talk about it in the video, but is there anything...
There's nothing else that necessarily is a problem area on the Leaf.
But should we do like
Apart
a
from
brake
this.
fluid flush, like general maintenance or like, stuff like that?
That's probably something that could be done. It's kind of outside the scope of what we normally do. We mainly focus on the specialty stuff.
Sure. We can do general service somewhere
But
else.
yeah, general service, is kind of something that any shop can do. But it's not a bad idea to do that kind of thing. Car's over 10 years old.
I just noticed it never regens.
That's probably because the battery's heavily degraded.
Okay,
That would be my guess.
Can we plug a scanner into the battery and see? Because I've used Leaf Spy and stuff, but
Yeah, so I have a copy of Leaf Spy. That's about the only thing that I could use to plug into it to get any,
Yeah.
useful data from the battery. How many bars does it have for the state of health? Do you know?
actually it's not bad. I think
Yeah.
it's lost 4 bars or something
Yeah.
like that.
So it's down to like 8 bars.
We can look at it. But
Yeah, we'll have to take a peek and see.
Right, and I would forget what each step indicates because it's not a linear.
Yeah, it's not a linear thing, but basically the first bar is 15%,
Right.
and then every bar after that is 6.25%.
Oh, okay. so they wanted you to make it look like it was real good.
Right. Yep. that first 15% takes a long time, and then
Right.
after that, they start to drop bars
By that
pretty
time
quick after
you're-
that first one. Yeah.
I also
Stranded.
was thinking, like, since the onboard charger hasn't worked in such a long time, maybe the battery's just completely out of balance.
Could have some balance issues. Yeah.
Because I've tried to DC charge them, and I DC charge from the phone, and sometimes it cuts off at like 92%, and I unplug, replug in, then I get up to 94, then I
Oh,
unplug
yeah,
and
it might
replug in,
have-
and I just start walking it up.
It might have a relatively significant imbalance, which is not unheard of for an older Leaf to have
Yeah.
fairly significant pack imbalances.
And I've had it shut off or before it's gotten to 0 as well. So
I
you
bet
probably need to whack it into shape.
I bet it has a pretty significant pack and balance then.
Yeah.
The Leaf does not care that much operationally if it has a pack and balance. Like it won't really throw errors or anything unless it gets really, really significant.
And that would indicate if it's really significant, like a weak cell or a weak brick.
And we actually did one once where it had like basically, more or less a failed cell in it that we were able to repair.
Okay.
Still had a pretty degraded battery, but
at least when we get this in and we full charge it, we should check Leaf Spy and see.
See where the cell voltages are at in here.
Yep. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
Neato. Well, let me show it to you out there.
Yeah, let's take a peek at it.
Okay.
It had a failed BMS. We'll actually make it here.
Okay. Well,
Pretty
the car was 3.
Yeah. The 40 kilowatt hour should give the car pretty easily 150.
Hey, yeah, we're coming in. EVLC.
Where do we put the charger? Okay, find a spot. Volunteers coming in. Basically, like, can you imagine? With Alex. Good luck. Yeah.
All right, Kyle is going in Alex's Tesla that has 440,000 miles. So we get to ride in the Plaid. So sweet. See you there.
See you there.
I don't mind these handles at all. They're good handles.
You're good handle. There's a laptop there.
Oh yeah, freebie. There goes Kyle. And we're officially in his Plaid. Patrick's first time driving one.
Yeah.
And it's Kyle's, and it's at night. And where are we even going?
I'm not sure. We're going to Churchill's. I don't know how to turn on autopilot.
We have arrived. How do you feel?
I need another 10 minutes and then I'll feel comfortable in the car.
Dang, you're good. I think we definitely need to spend some time in one of these. It was actually really interesting.
I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
What do you think?
Huh?
Kyle will drive us to dinner in this.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then we'll come back.
Oh, that's super sweet. You want us to film it?
Well, now we have 0 range anxiety. We can actually rip it.
Oh my
I used to,
gosh.
full charge it and then drive so slow so I can make it back to the charger.
Make it back to the fast charger.
And now we can full send the Leaf.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Come out of the neighborhood and I'm like, uh-oh.
Like, crap, good thing I can come back down.
There's the key.
Okay, thank you.
99.999 is not good.
We're gonna arrive to dinner at 1 mile of range.
Now we just plug it back in, and you can actually see the free press car that we have. It goes back. They must be like,
Right,
why?
yeah.
So, that's not even an eco.
67 miles of range. Oh my gosh. 67 miles?
Part of that might have to do with the fact that we have the 12 volt disconnected. But yeah, 67 might be a little longer.
Ready to go?
Ready to go?
Yeah, because I gotta drive.
I know.
Let's go.
You coming?
Yeah.
What's that?
We're going to dinner. You coming?
That's
can't wait.
crazy.
Charge this up. We'll
Yeah. 73 miles.
charge it up to 100% like the next few days and just use the heck out of it.
Keep charging it. And
Yeah.
Let it sit, before you plug it in, let it sit low for 10 minutes or something like that. An hour,
Yeah.
3 hours, 5 hours would be good. And then then juice it back up. But wow, I mean, like, what do you really need a bigger battery? It's not like you really want to go anywhere far in a Leaf.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
it's just to like pop to the store, and then it's just no store is 70 miles away.
Though I gotta be honest, if you put a 300 mile battery in here, we're coming to visit.
I just want to do a burnout real quick. Let's just see
Okay.
if it will.
Oh my
I'm not really totally sure. We're taking out of eco mode. Let's do it. Nothing. That was the lamest thing we've ever
Wait,
done.
do it again and I'll pretend to drop the camera. I can like act it out.
All right, we'll try again.
Okay.
Do a proper launch.
Okay.
Nice arachnids on this one. Ready?
Okay. Whoa, no, God.
It's like a roller coaster.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's good burnouts. Still flooring.
Should we call it burnout? Does it need a ladies' man?
Yes.
And it's this left.
Oh, yeah, turn left.
Where's the handbrake? It's electronic.
Drift
It doesn't
it.
do anything.
Aw. Please make the next left. It's really
Wow, that's a nice ass trailer. Asses.
Oh,
Our
whoa.
seats are like-
That's a nice trailer.
That's a cool skateboard.
Where are we going? Oh, down there. I see it.
There, yeah.
Wow, April Reeves.
We are here. It has been announced.
And we can just crash right into the fence.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, of
Leaf
course. See you
delivery.
all soon.
Woohoo! We'll drive it out to you.
Sounds-
no,
that would be
one day.
terrible.
No.
No.
That Model S, by the way, if it hasn't been on your channel, has almost 500,000 miles.
Oh, that's right. Good
Yeah.
job, man. And that is Alex who fixed the Leaf.
That's right.
Yay! Bye.
Okay, Kyle is inside now. He's recording his video about QC Charge. They're going to do the swap actually in the morning because we had to go to an event together, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I wish we could come watch the swap or just see what happens, but we have our day jobs.
We'll watch Kyle's video.
We'll watch Kyle's video. There you go. Yeah, I'm really excited, and the shop seems super awesome. Apparently, Kyle's known about them for years and years and been following them, so it's cool that they get to collaborate on this now.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see some of the other things they were talking about. I can't wait to watch the video. He's like I said, he's inside filming and getting the lowdown on Leafs and some of the other stuff that they have.
A whole bunch of RAV4s.
in plans. So anyways, we should wrap it up in case, Kyle, wraps it up himself. We're going to go for a ride in his famous Plaid.
Yeah.
Hopefully a calm ride. It'll never be a calm ride.
We've only gone for one ride and it was a little not calm, but maybe the rest of them are calm for all we know. Anyways, on that note, thank you so much for your loud car.
There's a motorcycle. But thank you to our
Motorcycle.
patrons.
Thank you so much to our patrons whose names are scrolling across the screen right now. We appreciate you guys so very, very much. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, we forget to mention it, but if you want to join, links down below. It's $2, $4, or $6 per month. So when you see those names, just know that those people have actually stepped up to do $4 or $6 a month. We appreciate the Whisper patrons. We send out updates to them and some photos and
Basically what you're going to
stuff.
get is, behind the scenes and sometimes previews of our videos.
Sometimes when we get done in time. But
When we get done in time. For our Unbridled patrons, we pick up little trinkets along the way and send those out to them. We appreciate you guys whether you support us on Patreon or not, because the fact that you are here is the ultimate support. But that's why thank you so much to our patrons for your monetary support as well. What else?
That's it. We got to go.
We should go. And on that note, just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's an old beaten up Leaf, a Tesla, or a Mach-E, or a RAV4.
An electric RAV4.
Enjoy the ride. Bye.